All right, click the links to join the channel or check out the subscribe star, various other links. So what's not to love about this image? As you scroll through this Bounded into Comics article, you'll notice quite a few differences. Resident Evil, yeah, I'm familiar with that movie. I saw that when it came out. It was a fun little. Oh, this doesn't. What is this? This doesn't look like Resident Evil. This looks like. Oh, hey, does she have a? Does she have the almost shaved side of the head, short hair, mohawk look that? It's like people who make these movies and draw these comics, they have that one hairstyle because they don't watch other movies or read other comics. If they did, maybe they'd know how cliche it is. You can make a woman look like a woman. It's okay. You don't have to do the same. You see this in freaking every comic book. She's punk rock, bro. You don't even skate. No, it's a cliche when it's been done 10,000 times. You don't have to do this to her hair with the motorcycle boots and the shaved head. You don't have to make her look like this if you don't want to. But clearly they want to because they keep doing it. So people are sick of this media stuff. I don't know what you want to call this. Wokeism is a word that what is woke? It's like I don't it's like we know it when we see it. That's just a deflection. It's like we know what it is, and as soon as you say a movie's woke, a comic's woke, it's like okay, we know what it means. And I think the left wing knows what it means. Also, people are tired of, I don't know what you want to call it, this erasure and this hatred coming from this one segment. They also realize that you got to speak out against all this kind of stuff. It's okay. In fact, it's good to speak out. Express your diversity of opinion. Your viewpoints are valid. Don't let them tell you they're not. Don't let them apply this Bolshevik nomenclature to your viewpoints and not to their own. It's like that's all those words they use, those istophobic words. That's just Bolshevik control terms. It is okay to tell the media that you're tired of their manipulation and hatred. People are not fungible. Your views as a customer, you're not a fan, you're a customer. Stuff isn't free. They matter. And if you're not respected, you'll tell people how crap this is, and you'll take your money elsewhere, which is ultimately the only control you have over these I don't know what you want to call these media. I mean, they're not movies like you used to remember them. I don't know, say 20 years ago you found stuff. Yeah, there's always going to be a perspective, a little bit of liberal propaganda 20, 30 years ago. But the stuff you're seeing now, like they're not movies anymore. They're just kind of digital cultural Marxism, and you can just leave. Or you can, make your own stuff, but ultimately it comes with not funding this type of stuff. Let them, they're free to make it, and we're also free to not support it. People are tired of race swapping, and it's what it is it's baiting and switching, because it built a fan base, a customer base on one set of characters and one storyline. And then when they say, oh, we're going to redo it. It's like, but it's entirely different. So you're not really redoing it. You're just baiting and switching. And all this globalist type of propaganda. Gosh, every European has been replaced. Well, why would we support erasure? It's a digital genocide. If these groups claim that they want to see themselves represented, okay, fair enough, everyone does, but just create new characters so you don't have to bait and switch people, because when you do that, you lose, and not your political capital, but your people stop trusting you when everything is a bait and switch, and specifically by erasing European characters. The thing is, obviously, we also want to see ourselves represented, and in a respectful way, not where every European character is shown as an antagonist, where, gee, another blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy robs a liquor store. Yeah, enough of that. We're done with that. And it's like, it's okay to openly discuss this and say this is just propaganda. I mean, this is insane that you think that people are nice and polite. And you can just dip out of these movies and stop supporting it, but you can also speak out against like how ridiculous this narrative is. And that's obviously the current right now is this blonde man bad hatred being pushed by these Hollywood vermin. The character in Resident Evil, as the person in the article says, they have blonde hair and we don't want to be stuck to blonde hair. Yeah, they have blonde hair. That's true. That's also the director gaslighting to say that that's her only. That's the only description of the character is is her hair color. Turn that off. This is one doesn't have pop-up blocker. But more importantly, she's Ukrainian, or at least the actor was, Mila, whatever. But she's European, portrayed as the character on screen. You can't change that because it's when you change it, it's not the character. And why would you want to change it? Because you're turning these movies into nothing more than Bolshevik propaganda. At least 20 years ago, it was at least, there was some. I think that's how old this movie is. There was still some entertainment to be had, and now it's like, oh, there's like nothing for the audience in these movies. That again, you're paying for. At least, I mean, you're probably not paying for this stuff. The thing is, they claim, oh, representation. Yeah, but I see it as cultural Marxism, and because I mean that's what it is. I want to see somebody who looks like the original actor. I don't want to take part in these media games. They're not making movies anymore. This is just this hateful narrative being pushed to replace the beautiful people of the light, like Mila Jovanovic, whatever. And even if you don't care about all that kind of the culture war type of stuff, it's still a fundamental shift in the character. There's a dynamic that characters have, the interaction between the characters on screen. That at least Resident Evil Part 1 and Part 2 were pretty solid movies for what they were, video game adaptations. But that doesn't mean they weren't bad movies. I mean, the movies that came after that were kind of straight to video type of stuff. But they had a dynamic. People are not replaceable. Mila is a unique woman that represents, from her part of the world, sort of the tip of the iceberg of concepts that are associated with what she was portraying on screen. Wherein, when you swap it out with somebody with an entirely different set of reference, you got to start fresh with a new audience. And in this case, no audience, because nobody wanted to watch two people who were not portrayed as special in any way. And I don't mean to insult the actors. I'm not calling them ugly like I did with that Wonder Woman thing, because and I don't mean it like that. I mean, the way you're portrayed on screen is the way the writers and directors want to portray you. They could portray you much like the Wonder Woman. I wasn't saying she was ugly. I was trying to say the character was ugly, because I saw a picture of her off screen and she had blonde hair. I don't know what her natural hair color is, and she looked 10 times better than the way she was portrayed on screen. And I'm sure with these two girls too, they're doing a certain vibe here, kind of a girl power feminist thing. You try to make them as unattractive as possible, where if you saw them at like an awards show where they're all glammed up, I suspect they would look different than how they're portrayed here. And that's another thing people are tired about, besides just the race swapping and the gender swapping you see so often. It's like the uglification. I mean, my God, have you seen the Victoria's Secrets ad? Here's a Victoria's Secrets ad from like 2000. Oh my God, these women are like the pinnacle of representing health and fitness. Whether or not that's true or not, it doesn't matter. But in most cases, it is true, because a lot of those models are they're not necessarily healthy. Yeah, only in 99% of the cases, they're doing like vegetables and low carb diet, and yeah, most cases they are healthy. You don't know that. Yeah, they are. I mean, that's like to maintain 6-pack abs is you're doing a pretty healthy lifestyle. And then they show the new Victoria's Secret ad. Like, oh my God, you guys are gonna go out of business if you continue down this path. And like, there are a lot of companies that will gladly go out of business. Like, that's how effing dedicated they are to this narrative. Is that yes, Disney, Warner Brothers, Victoria's, whatever, these companies will go out of business. Or they'll go as close to as they can before whoever has financial control, the board, finally wakes up and goes, oh, maybe we want to turn this around. Anyway, not a whole lot of people were watching this. I haven't even seen it. Maybe Thorius Unlimited will do a review. His reviews are so freaking awesome. The thing is, nobody wanted to watch two people who were not portrayed as special. They look like Mary Sue cliches. The short hair, stunning and brave. I don't know if they have nose rings or not. You would have needed to find another gorgeous Eastern European girl it's like the same vibrations, the interconnectedness of the characters on screen. In parts 1 and part 2, like, those are legitimately solid, good action adventure movies. And the characters on screen had a dynamic between themselves. I don't know if there was a romantic interest. I think in the first one there was a little bit. But there was just a certain flow that they had, and she was a really good actor for what she was trying to do in that movie. And people in general are sick of this kind of nonsense. Like, not everyone says the same kind of hot phrases that I use with the Marxist type of stuff, but they even if they're not using that lexicon, they know what's going on. They see the commercials are probably the biggest indicator, because so many people have a TV on in the background in the kitchen. It's like kind of always on. Women's shows in the morning type of thing, or cooking shows. And then it's not the shows themselves so much, but it's the commercials. People see the commercials and they start to notice something's going on. And when you start to pay attention to the commercials, that's a very, very serious red pill for a lot of people. It's not that you're elevating, like movies and the Marxists now, it's like their writers, they don't elevate the group they want to elevate by elevating them and their supporting cast of characters, like say the original Lucas Star Wars from the 70s, where the leading characters were all just cool. The way they do it now is they put down characters, because it's not about telling a story or selling a product. It's about a narrative of putting this one group of people down it's the stochastic terrorism to get you to hate this one group of people. That's why the movies are not connecting with a lot of people, because you're not elevating this one group of people. You're not elevating everyone who's supposed to be your protagonists. It's like the antagonists are just this one group of people. And even the ones who are allegedly on your side, like I remember I saw the first episode of that Star Trek on CBS. They had the thing was free on YouTube, and like the first 5 minutes of the scene was the blonde-haired male character who was on the POC woman's side, but he was overbearing and offensive and just every cliche that these people do for the European characters who I think invented spaceflight, which is weird. And of course she was stunning and brave, and she had to correct him, and she had to be the voice of reason, and then he got deleted in like the first 5 minutes because he was it's just nonsense. When you see this over and over and over again, you could go through so many movies and point all this kind of stuff out. It's never ending, but it's to the point where people are going, oh, there's nothing out there, and like even supporting Netflix or Amazon in any way, it means you're supporting this kind of stuff. So hopefully, people will wake up to that concept. Like, you just can't support it anymore financially. Unless you're supporting the ideology behind it, which is freaking evil. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys all next episode.